Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Toyota Camry TRD. Huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website. They're always getting in some very cool inventory. That link is down in the description. This TRD version is finished off in midnight black. MSRP is just over $34,000. And this is powered by the 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6. It's paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 301 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque. This is rear-wheel drive. It weighs in right around 3,500 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds. Top speed is 135 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.8 gallons. You'll expect to see around 22 miles per gallon in the city, 31 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 111.2 inches. Its overall length is 192.7. It has a width of 72.4, a height of 56.3, and its ground clearance measures in at 5.7 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this TRD version for the Camry, basically all of the TRD accessories are pretty subtle, but you will notice that there's a few on this exterior. Up front, nothing is too different. This does have a nice set of LED headlights. The turn signals I do not believe are LED, but the housing has a very nice thin design to it. And then up front, Toyota badge is front and center, which is also the forward-facing sensor. Really cool design working its way surrounding that Toyota logo. There's also some mesh on both sides, and then an hourglass design for the gloss black for the rest of it. Very large lower section of that grille, and the gloss black works its way to the side lower front spoiler there on both sides. So that's a key distinction for this TRD. Very nice lines that come down the hood. The two in the middle come to a V point surrounding the Toyota badge. So I think it has a really nice front end to it. You'll notice though that the wheels are different for the TRD. This has a set of 19-inch TRD wheels finished off in matte black. You'll notice the TRD center cap, and then this has 2-piston brakes all around. Now that lower spoiler works its way to the side skirt here, where you'll notice more of the red trim accents to give it a great look. This has gloss black for the side mirrors, which also have a turn signal. Gloss black surrounds all of the window trim, and then the entire roof is also finished off in gloss black, along with the door handles, just to give it a really cool look. Now, I mentioned earlier that this model is finished off in midnight black. In certain lighting, it does look gray, like it might appear right now, and once we get to the other side of the vehicle, it's going to be black. So it's a really cool, almost color-changing option for this. Now in back, this does have a gloss black spoiler with a metallic finish for the end caps there. There's the Camry badge right in the middle, along with a backup camera. TRD is over on that passenger side. No LED taillights for this model yet, which is interesting to see. There's no parking sensors either, but there's the gloss black lower diffuser with some fins to give it that added aggression. And then this does have the TRD dual exhaust, which we will start up here soon. Now you can use the button on the key fob or the hidden button over on that passenger side to open up the trunk lid. And then in back, this is a family style sedan, so it does have a lot of space. I haven't found how the back seats fold down. I don't believe that they fold down for this model, which is interesting to see. But nonetheless, you still have plenty of space for any items that you would like to place in the back. And then it's a very light trunk lid, so that is easy to close. And now you'll notice the car looks black from this side. Now as we take a look at the interior, door panel is pretty simple. There's a brushed aluminum accent running off of the release handle, and then a speaker and some storage down below. And then this is where we have a little bit of a difference. We have these Softex leather seats with all of the red piping, stitching, and seat belts. And at 5'10", I have a good bit of space. There's storage pockets behind both front seats, storage in the middle instead of climate vents, which is interesting. Auxiliary down below, a little bit of a bulge right there. But at my height, I have about a inch or so above my head. So it is spacious. I could ride in the back and be comfortable. Now there's no center armrest or additional cup holders there, but visibility is pretty easy to see around. So it is doable for 3 people to be in the back, making it a functional family style sedan. Door panel up front is just as simple as the rear. However, there's the window controls and then side mirror adjustments, lock and unlock. And then the automatic front seats have that same design to them with Camry TRD down on those floor mats. Now it's a low vehicle, so it's very easy to enter, where we have the solid leather steering wheel with more of the red stitching. There's also the start button on this right side, so let's bring this to life and listen to that TRD exhaust. And coming back to the gauge cluster, you'll notice that the gauges are lit up in red. So for the tach and engine temperature, as well as the miles per hour and the fuel level. Now right in the middle, you can go through some more info using these arrows on the left side, where there's also volume, Bluetooth, and voice commands. And if we start scrolling, we have some trip information to go through, as well as your fuel, economy meter, miles per hour. You even have your tire pressure. You can pull up music, look at your adaptive cruise, any messages, and then you have some settings with some of the standard safety features that you can turn on and off. So it's nice that you can go through all of that. There's even a calm screen as well. So a little bit of info that you can easily adjust. Now on the right side, there's your cruise, distance pacing, lane keeping assist, mode, and tuning. This does also have paddle shifters, so those are located on both sides. On this left side, there's the automatic headlight adjustment, traction control, fuel cap, and trunk release. A little bit of storage where you could place maybe the key fob or something small like that. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system, on the home screen, there's the split style for music, as well as your fuel and your phone. You can go into menu where you have all of these icons lit up in red. There's audio, phone, apps, and projection. And then you can get into setup to go through some of this general information. You can pull up audio, pull up the map when you have that installed, and then there's phone, apps, and seek and track on that right side. There's power and volume as well as tuning. This model also has the JBL audio, which is a part of the TRD package. 2 climate vents are underneath that. And then you do have a single zone, fan speeds on that passenger side, temperatures on the driver's side. You have off, a few recircs, as well as where you'd like the air to go, and a cool trim accent that runs off the gauge cluster all the way to the passenger side, where underneath that, open up this bin where there's a lot more space. There's also some auxiliaries there. And then looking at the TRD shifter, we'll just put it into reverse, where there's the backup camera as well as the guidelines. And then you have drive and the manual setting. So you can shift using the shifter or the paddle shifters. Right behind that, there's Eco, Normal, and Sport for the driving modes, as well as Auto Hold and the e-brake. There's 2 cup holders, and then the center armrest has a lot of space, as well as some auxiliaries, and the glove box also has plenty of space for all of those items. There's more of that stitching on the passenger side, and then up top, there's a sunglass holder, as well as the dome lights, and then a look at visibility from the driver's seat. It's pretty open feeling for the sedan, so it makes it very practical to see all around. Setting off behind the wheel now for this Camry TRD. This is a really cool sedan from Toyota. However, I do wish that the TRD maybe gave it a little bit more power rather than some of the cosmetics that it has. Now this does have the TRD suspension, so it is going to give it some of those better handling characteristics, but it's not a full, like this should be a GR Camry, just like the GR Corolla, GR86, and the Supra. It would be cool to maybe see a GR Camry rather than just a TRD. Maybe give it a little bit more power somehow, maybe just give it a little bit more performance. Now at the same time too, I don't think people buying the Camry TRD necessarily want that next level performance. They just want kind of the cool cosmetics like the spoiler, the wheels. They just want kind of the cosmetic side of it. So I can kind of see the buyer for this car, but at the same time too, it would be cool to see a lot more power for this. So if we downshift in sport mode, it's the 3.5 liter V6 that Toyota has used in a lot of their vehicles. That was the motor that was in my Toyota Tacoma. They used it in several other trim levels before they started going away and going into some of the hybrid options. So maybe Toyota will put a hybrid in this Camry at some point to give it extra power that I think it should have for the TRD model. But aside from all of that out of the way, driving the Camry in general is a very nice feel. This is a vehicle that a lot of people own. The Camry is probably in the top 5 best-selling vehicles, I think, ever as far as how many they make. Toyota makes hundreds of thousands of Camrys, probably in a month, but at least in a year, they sell a lot of them. This is a very popular sedan. It's something that's easy to maintain, it's easy to own. It's just something that you can rack up miles, and this is your daily driver. People are going to own these for several years just because of the ease of maintenance, the ease of getting into a vehicle that you can take from point A to point B and knowing that you are going to make it. Toyota is known for their reliability, and I think that's why the Camry is so popular. It's just an easy vehicle to drive. It gives you what you need. I do wish there were a little bit more settings in this infotainment system. I feel like it's not quite as much as some other brands, but at the same time too, this is a vehicle that you just hop in and go. You pair your phone, you have nav on your phone to pair for this, you can update it on the screen if you'd like to, but it's just a car that you get in and drive. Doesn't seem quite as loud for having the TRD exhaust. In general, does make a difference on some other models. It's interesting, it feels or sounds a little bit too quiet for being a TRD exhaust. You hear a lot more of the engine than you do the exhaust, but again, it's not that next level performance type of vehicle, so you get a little bit of that exhaust tone here and there. And from second gear, here we go. I will say, with a mild acceleration, we're up to speed. So it's definitely not slow by any means as far as the power that this does have. So as far as merging into traffic, just driving it in general, it has an adequate amount of power. So I'm not downplaying just driving this as it is. It just, for the TRD, it'd be cool to see a little bit more to it. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the Camry TRD. Very thin pillars up front, so it's easy to see out of the front. It's easy to see over both shoulders. It's a nice place to be. Super comfortable. I wouldn't say it's like extreme level of refinement, but Toyota does offer a nice interior. We do have some plastics here and there. I think we have some kind of material on top of it just to make it look a little nicer, but it's a nice place to be. I've owned several Toyotas. I'm looking to buy my next Toyota very shortly, and so I love the brand. I love what they have to offer. It's nice. It's a nice place to be. It offers a lot for the pricing too. At $34,000, this is pretty much a fully loaded Camry. Now we do have some other trim levels that may be a little bit more expensive. You can go with the Avalon too if you need a little bit more space. That's a little bit larger of a sedan, but can't really complain with this. It's something that's going to last you hundreds of thousands of miles. So if you're looking to buy one car and be done, look at Toyota. You are going to get that with any model that you go with. That's going to wrap it up though for the 2024 Camry TRD. Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this for me today. Check out their website. Also give this video a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.